right, everybody. Well, tomorrow is the day that we are leaving, and buying this extension cord was kind of not necessary because look what we got here. We got the car plugged in, and right inside of this garage door here, we have a nice 20 amp right next to the circuit panel, 20 amp, 120 volt outlet. It's been working out perfectly all week. We just hang the charger from it, and that goes out just to the outside of the garage door where I park, and voila, we have the car charging. So that's where we've been charging all week, just off the 120 volt. It's been working. This hood is a pain, but yeah, it's been working pretty well for us. So we're going to be charging up for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're actually doing a little bit of a weird trip. We're actually not just going straight towards home. We're actually going a little bit out of our way to see some friends first, and then we'll be making our trip down south to Virginia to start. So we'll talk all about that in a little bit. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. On today's episode, we're taking our return trip back from here in New Jersey back to Myrtle Beach, but we got some detours to take along the way, so make sure you stay tuned, hit the subscribe button. This is actually going to be a pretty cool episode, and we're going to really put the Mach-E to the test and see how well it does. Make sure you stay tuned. We're going to come right back at you. All right, everybody, welcome back. So like I was saying, we are going to be taking this 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E back home from where we are right now in New Jersey. Now, if you haven't seen our previous episode, go ahead and take a look at the episode up here in the corner. That'll take you right to our episode where we go up from Myrtle Beach all the way to New Jersey. We split in 2 days, and we do this on the day before Christmas Eve, so December 23rd, which is arguably the busiest time of the year to travel. We managed to make it up the East Coast through Route 95 in this CCS vehicle and get all the way from there to Maryland the first day and then to Jersey the second day, relatively unscathed from the process. But if you're interested in seeing how well that went, or maybe how bad that went, you could take a look at that video up there and take a look and see how our progress was, our process of getting through all the chargers. It wasn't a fun experience by any means, but it was doable, and you know, you can see all the details in that video. Now, right now we are sitting in the car because we are getting packed up and ready to leave here in New Jersey. We are in North New Jersey right now. We are going to be heading back towards Myrtle Beach, but we're going to be stopping in Leesburg, Virginia tonight, which is a very short trip from here to there. It's only about 4.5 hours, like 200 miles, something like that. But we're actually taking some detours. We're actually going to be taking this car. We're going to be going up way to the north tip of New Jersey into Pennsylvania. So we're actually going to be taking a trip up there because I'm going to see some friends first before we make our trip down to Leesburg, which we'll have some dinner tonight with some friends. So we got a lot of driving to do today and tomorrow now, and so we're going to see how well the Mach-E works. So let's go ahead, let's turn you around, let's take a look at the route, and then we'll see how easy this is going to be for the Mach-E to do. All right, so we are sitting here in the car. It's about 10 to 8 this morning. We're going to probably leave in about an hour or so. We're not rushing out the door. It's 39 degrees outside, so it's a little cool. We got the car charging up on our level 1 that I showed you before, that you could see it's plugged into our breaker, or 20 amp outlet there in the garage, which is good to see, good to have. We're at 99% state of charge. Now, this battery is still top charging because if you remember, I was trying to get this battery top charged and top balanced before we left to come here, but because we left so early in the morning at home, we didn't get a chance to actually get this top balance. So it's actually top balancing right now. It's been at 99% for quite a while, and it estimates it's going to be another couple hours, though I am in the car right now running the heat, so that's going to pull a little bit from that. But in a little bit, I'll be turning the car off. So anyway, we're going to be leaving here in New Jersey. We're going to be heading up north, going up Route 15, off to 206, and just over the border into Pennsylvania, which is where our first stop's going to be. We're going to get some brunch there with a friend, and then we're going to be taking our trip back down. Now, this is telling me that it wants me to go all the way out to, what is it, Scranton, I think it is, which is an Electrify America station, which I think this is completely unnecessary. I should be able to make it back down to the Allentown area, and from there we should be able to charge up there as opposed to all the way over there. So we're going to see how it is when we get there. We're going to see how, you know, things change, because weather's going to get warmer. It might even get sunnier. The car will become more efficient. We might actually be able to sneak down into the Allentown area, down here on 78. I'm pointing up here. I'm realizing it's way, way down here. So we should be able to make that trip back down to 78 to get to Allentown. And up there we are. Allentown area here, so we can get to that charger instead. And I think there's actually a couple there, an EVgo and an Electrify America. And of course, if you haven't seen it, we hit an EVgo on the way up here, and pretty cool. I got auto charge set up, so actually I'm kind of more interested in going to the EVgo station there instead. But anyway, yeah, this is a little weird. I don't want to do this. This is going to put us way, way, way out of our way. But once we're done there, we're going to be making our trip down Route 81, and then we are going to be coming down into Leesburg, Virginia, way down here, just outside of Washington, and that's where we'll be spending the night. I also don't know why it wants us to stop at this Car Star Kramer's Middletown. Like this is the thing I don't like about Ford's navigation system, is it puts you places where you just don't know, and you're not really like, well, I've never heard of this, I don't know what this is. Are there any more opportunities to charge in this area, because I don't want to get there at a low state of charge. And so I don't really like this part of the navigation. I wish we could filter it by, hey, give me an Electrify America, a charge point, an EVgo, you know, whatever. Like, I wish we could charge it by, or excuse me, I wish we can adjust it by that, as opposed to here, anything that's a DC fast charger you get. Like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, as you can see, we'll be making it down 81 onto this Route 15, which is a really nice scenic route, and that brings us straight into Leesburg for tonight. All right, so we got a little bit to do here. Getting on the road, we need to make sure that we got everything packed up. We got all our Christmas gifts that we got to pack up as well. I was hoping to get rid of a lot of stuff. Instead, we end up gaining a lot of stuff. 'Tis Christmas, I guess. But anyway, so let's get on the road. Stay tuned, because we're going to have probably a lot of fun on this one as well. So make sure you stick around, because this is going to be cool. I think this is going to be interesting. This is going to probably be one of our last trips where CCS is going to be like the thing, or at least for this vehicle. Once again, rumor has it Ford's going to get access to the supercharger network early next year. Is that true or not? Who knows? But if it is true, and I get my Tesla to CCS adapter, supposedly by Ford, then we'll have an option there. We'll just stop at superchargers along the way, or not. You know, maybe the superchargers become too packed because of CCS vehicles. Maybe I stick to Electrify Americas and all the other stuff, but that's going to be a while before we see those days. All right, let's get on the road. We'll see you there. All right, well, good morning, everybody. We are getting on the road here. It is about 5 minutes to 9. We're not in really of a rush today, because we have a short trip that we turned into a long trip just because we want to see some friends on the way out. And they're a little bit out of our way, unfortunately, but it's worth it. So we have charged up, yeah, so we have charged up to 100%, or according to what it says, but I know the battery still has some top balancing to do. It was still actively charging as we were unplugging it. So I know this battery needs some top balancing, and I haven't gotten a chance to fully charge it in a while, but we're going down a nice hill right now, so hopefully this regen is hopefully topping off the battery a little bit as we go. But we got a little bit of trip in front of us. Let's see, our first stop is going to be in about, what's like 30 miles, I think. It's not too far. Let's see, come on, 42 miles. So we are heading into, get on the road, we're heading into Milford, Pennsylvania. So we got to go way up north of Jersey and then shoot out to the west side of Jersey at the very tip, and then for some reason it thinks we're off the road right now. I don't know why it's been doing that on this road, but so we're going to be going up to Milford, Pennsylvania. We're going to be getting ourselves some brunch with a friend, and then we'll be heading just a little bit south of there. On CR 513. Thank you. And then we'll be heading just a little bit south of there to see somebody else for a little bit, and then we'll be making the trip to Leesburg. So from here, right now, we have to travel all the way up to the north side of Jersey, through Pennsylvania, and back down to, I think 78 is what we're going to try to aim for. Try to get back to Allentown before our first charge.
I like Pennsylvania though. It's a nice area.
Yeah, it's a nice.
It's a nice drive.
It's a nice drive. It's not like the Turnpike or Parkway or New Jersey.
And that's going to be crowded.
Yeah, so we're not going to try that. We're going to go the nice easy way and go the way we need to go. So the car's projecting 230 miles of range right now. Obviously that's being optimistic because you know, we got the heat pumping now through the car to kind of warm it up, and the heated seats are on, and so we got a little bit of energy usage going on until our first stop. But we'll warm everything up and then get the car nice and efficient for the beginning of this drive. So just stick around, and we'll see you along the way. All right, I made sure that before we left today that we reset our trip. So we got our trip 1 will be for our entire trip back. Trip 2 will be our entire trip, including around New Jersey. So we just drove 41 miles just about. You could see our usage here, which is pretty good. 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Probably one of the worst efficient runs we're going to have today, just due to the fact that the car is still warming up. It's about 85% state of charge right now. Still shows 191 miles left on our battery, which is fantastic. Now our next stop, according to this, we're going to have to throw in another address here in a minute, but we're going to be going down this way a little bit and seeing a friend down in this area, and then from there we're going to be going down to well, I'm assuming Allentown is where we're going to end up by the end of the first leg of this trip to charge. So we'll just see how that goes. In the meantime, we're going to get some breakfast, some brunch, and yeah, start enjoying some of our trip today. Unfortunately, it's still raining.
Yeah, what's up with the forecast?
I don't know. We've had rain like the last 3 days here in New Jersey.
Worse. It could be snow.
Well, yeah, it's 40 degrees, so I'll take it. Anyway, all right, we'll see you back on the road. All right, well, we just had a nice brunch here in Milford, Pennsylvania at the Milford Diner. It was a very good diner. Just
delicious.
Like a lot of good diners out there. So now our next step is to head down south to Dingman's Ferry. We're going to see another friend down there for a little bit, hang out, and then we're going to be on the road and heading out to Leesburg, Virginia. So, and I was just getting information. It told me that it is best to go westbound towards, what was it again? Westbound to Scranton. Scranton, Pennsylvania. So it looks like the Ford navigation might be right. That might be the better opportunity for us to charge and continue with our trip. So we might be just doing that. So we're going to see in a little bit. So we're going to head down to our next destination here, and then we'll see you along the way. We got a phone call to answer.
Sorry.
Well, we finished up our
second meeting place.
Our second
please drive to highlighted route.
All right, cool. So yep, we finished up our second meeting here with our friends. Good to see them. They used to live next to us down in Myrtle Beach. So we are now looking at our next place. So they were actually recommending that we go south to Allentown as opposed to west to Scranton. So we're gonna actually do that. So it says we're gonna get to, really, with 41%. So we're at 77% stated charge right now. So I don't know, I guess we'll just do it. We'll get in that direction, because that's the right direction we have to go to, because we got to get out the 78, which is where that is. So, and now it's adding all these extra chargers unnecessarily to our trip. So we'll have to reset all this, but let's get going to Allentown, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you on the road. Working our way down south now, and before, as I had mentioned, we were looking at like 3 different charging stops for some reason, and I don't know why it was showing that. So I went ahead and canceled the navigation completely. This is a common issue with the Ford navigation. It's almost like it gets more and more confused the more stuff you put into it, and then even when you take stuff out, it recalculates, and it's still just as confused as it was you know, from the get-go. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with the Ford navigation, but I went ahead and redid it all, and now it shows 1 charger that we have to stop at, which I thought, oh, that's great. So it finally recalculated. Only the thing is, when you hit details, it shows that it's going to stop at a Hyundai dealership. Once again, my biggest issue with this navigation is the fact that it wants to stop at dealerships as if that's like a normal thing, and it isn't, and it shouldn't be. And there's no way to filter that stuff out, unfortunately. So we are just going to be doing this path right here, as you can see down. I'm going to replace this one with another charger in that area, preferably one that's a little closer to us, so we have a little bit more buffer when we get there. And then we'll kind of go from there. So we'll just make our way in that direction, and we'll update you as we go. All right, well, so we just got to the Carlisle, Pennsylvania, not Carlisle, Allentown. We decided to stop in Allentown because the stretch to Carlisle would be out of our way, and it's a little bit too much. In fact, our navigation was like, no, too far, go to Allentown first. Well, we just got here, and there is 4 cars charging and 1, 2, 3 cars waiting. So yeah, so I think what we're going to do here, I think there is, yes, there is an EV Go down the street. I think we have a much better chance there to charge up. So we're gonna go there. And I mean, what's the worst that could happen, you know?
That we have to wait.
It's at the Home Depot. I don't know why it's not coming up in our navigation, which is good, because that means that it's possible that
nobody's there.
Nobody's there. 58. Why is it not even showing up in here? Not even under Home Depot? This is weird.
Do EV Go.
5877. I tried EV Go. It didn't work. That's what we were trying before, you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't coming up. 5877 Hamilton Boulevard, Allentown. All right, 3.5 miles away. We're gonna head over there, and we're gonna see if we get any luckier. All right, just a quick update here. So we got to the EV Go station. They got 6 chargers here, so 3 of these dual port units here. Just to kind of give you, so we were on the road about an hour and 48 minutes there, 85 miles, a lot of slow driving, 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. We got here a 41%, which I know is really high and kind of obnoxious that we're here so high, but the length of trip that we would have had to have done would have been a lot longer and a lot harder to make happen. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get this plugged in here. Wow, that's a really long run there of the cable, but barely made it work. Let's see, plug-in charge should work on this. Got a few cars here. You can see the 3 stations here. Got a Bolt charging up, 2 or an Ionic 5 here, an EV6 down there. These are the Ultium ones, so these must have been put in from the GM stuff. That's why they're EV Go, because they partnered together to make this happen. Looks like we are in the process of getting charged up here, and there we go. So 41% state of charge. We are ramping up power. Probably won't pull too much just because we are at a fairly high state of charge, but look at this. Actually, we're going over 100 kilowatts, which is pretty impressive considering our state of charge right now. So we're going to charge up because I want to show you what we need to get to our next place here. Let's take a look at the session details real quick. 364 volts, 278 amps, really low voltage on these cars. And we're already dropped below 100 kilowatts here, so. All right, no big deal. We'll just let it ride while we go use the facilities. Well, at least we know why the Home Depot or this EV Go charger wasn't showing up. There is absolutely nothing on this map that indicates that there's anything here. This looks like a brand new installation. It must be only a couple months old. I'll have to check in on PlugShare and see what it says over there. But as we are charging up here, looks like we are at 67%. We are sharing the charger with this Ionic 5 next to us. We're both pulling, 70 kilowatts each or something. This is a 350 kilowatt charger, so it could put out 350 total between the 2 cars, and we're not even half of that right now. So let's see, let's go into our recents. All right, and this is where we have to end up, at least for our hotel tonight. And let's see, we are
traffic laws.
Estimating that we are about 215 miles away, and it wants us to stop one more time in Carlisle, which I don't want to do that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to see if there's any more chargers along this route. I mean, we're only looking at about 215 miles, which we should be able to do if we charge up enough. The only problem is we'll be sitting here trying to top charge. So I don't know if that's going to be necessarily, but I also don't want to stop in Carlisle because Carlisle is actually kind of close. So I don't necessarily want to do that. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to look on PlugShare and a couple other apps and see if there's anything else along this route here that we can stop at, get a little bit lower charge, and then try to top off a little bit more there. But I think we're going to try to make the stretch all the way out. And as long as we see something around here, I think we're going to stop. But anyway, let's take a look at PlugShare and see what it says. All right, so looking at PlugShare right now, here's where we are up in Allentown. We're going to be cruising down 78 till we get to this Route 15 here. And we are going to need to probably charge in between where we are now and Leesburg down here. So we do have quite a few options in the area. So we have this one in Gettysburg, but that one says it's under construction right now. So right now it says under construction. That was as of a week ago. So that's probably not going to work. But then we have this one here that's in Emmitsburg, which is the Mason-Dixon Welcome Center. Now this one appears to be a fairly new station. It's got 2 charge point units. It looks like they're saying it may be operational soon, so I'm hoping that maybe it's operational. When was that made? 12/23. So maybe this one's not quite open yet. And then we do have this one down here, which is at a memorial park that appears to be open. So yeah, people are reporting in that it's working as of, it looks like today, actually. I think that's today. What is today's date? Today's the 30th. So as of yesterday. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this in our navigation here. We're going to put this in our navigation. We're going to see how this looks as far as mileage, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right, so here's where we got our trip. It took me a while to get the chargers in here. There's so many new chargers out there that a lot of the navigation systems don't even have them yet, but we can see that we are going to be cruising down 78 down to the 15 here. That'll cut us down to this Max Keen Memorial Park, where there are 2 charge point chargers. As we could see here on the charge point, or excuse me, the PlugShare app, we have that right there where my thumb is. But worst case scenario, for some reason they're broken or they're down or they're super busy for some reason, we can just go right over here to this Electrify America, which is at a Walmart, of course, and we could charge up there. It looks like they got 4 chargers there, and it looks like people have been having some pretty good luck with them. So it looks like we are okay to do, worst case scenario, go to there, but that's way off the beaten path. Whereas this one's nicely put at a park, right off of the Route 17 there, or Route 15, whatever. And so that'll be kind of convenient for us. So we're going to head there, and worst case scenario, if we have to, we'll just reroute to the other place, the Electrify America Walmart. Well, we are cruising right now on the highway. I've gone ahead and slowed down. We are now behind this truck here, down about 62 miles per hour, just because our buffer decided to die pretty quickly. So it shows that we're about 103 miles from that first charger, 104 according to this here, and about 114 miles of range. We were actually down to about an 8-mile buffer a little while ago. Now we're at about a 10-mile buffer. So the question is, do we stop in Carlisle, which is kind of on the way, but once again, a little bit out of our way if we stop at Carlisle, or do we stretch it all the way to what we were originally anticipating, which was this Memorial Park? Once again, if for some reason we can't charge there, we could charge at an Electrify America that was a few miles away. However, I want to make sure I have enough buffer in the tank so we can make it to that secondary charger. So we really got to make sure we play this properly here and see how things go. Right now it's projecting a 5% buffer. We got a little bit of ways until we hit Carlisle. So I think what we're going to do is see if we could get this up to about 10%, and then we will go from there. So as we can see, the signs coming up here: South Harrisburg South, 81 North to Hazleton. So we got to make sure we stay south, and then we'll start making some decisions. Give everybody just a quick update before we get too dark outside, and then we won't be able to see us in here. But we are heading down Route 76 right now. We'll be getting off on that 1517 road there that goes straight into Leesburg, Virginia. So our plan at the moment is to stop and hit a charge point charger that looks like it's only been up for maybe a few weeks, maybe a couple months. I didn't really look too far back in the PlugShare thing. But as of yesterday, somebody used it successfully, and anything before that is successful. So it looks like it's a pretty good charger. It's at a park, which is even better. Hopefully the park is open. It's not like something that's behind some sort of, gate or something. So hopefully when we get there, it'll be fine. We got about an hour and 14 minutes before we get to that place. Now let's look at our statistics. So right now we are at 44% state of charge, and we have 72 miles to go. So we have 90 miles of range, but 72 miles. So we have an 18-mile buffer right now, which is good to see. It's estimating that we're going to get there with a 9% arrival, which is fine. That's perfectly fine, because that'll give us just enough if we need to get down to that Electrify America station, which I think is only about maybe 4 or 5 miles away. So that is absolute worst case scenario. So we are just cruising along now. We got another 7 miles on here before we get off, but we're just kind of chilling at the speed limit, doing a little bit of what do we got here? 83. No, we don't want to get off here. We're gonna get off to this lane. So yeah, so we're just kind of chilling right now and just relaxing, and hands-free blues cruise is doing great. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So really cool thing at the last charger, you know, I kind of showed you a little bit, but I didn't really mention it, but it was an EV Go station. I just took the handle off the charger, plugged it into the car, and just like that, Auto Charge Plus took over and started the charging session. Really cool. I really like that. I think that this is a fantastic thing that EVgo is doing with Ultium or GM to make that, you know, expand out the network. And right now, if you look on PlugShare, along the 78 corridor, which is what we were on before, there's just like charger about to pop up, charger about to pop up, charger about to pop up. And so it's really cool that it is expanding, and you know, hopefully these federal grants will continue, and you know, we'll just have more places to stop, and you know, this way they're not so far off the exit. It's nice when you get off an exit and go like, you know, quarter mile, jump into a gas station or whatever, just, you know, to charge up for 10 or 15 minutes and then get back on the road.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much our update as of right now. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
We had a good visit with our friends.
Yeah, weather was nice in Jersey.
Yeah, no snow.
No snow.
We brought the warm weather with us.
We brought the semi-warm weather with us. And yeah, so now we get to go back to our normal warmish weather. So, and yep, and tomorrow will be New Year's Eve, so we got to get home for New Year's Eve because we have a New Year's Eve party to attend. So we got to make sure that we get on the road tomorrow morning relatively early, and then just start heading out and making up whatever time we need to get to said New Year's Eve party. So yeah, so we're going a little further now, and we'll be updating you once we get to the charger. Well, it's dark. We got a little bit left, about 21 miles to the charger to go. We now have ourselves around a 20-mile buffer, which is really nice. So we should be getting there with about 10%, maybe 9%, something like that. Anyway, so we are going. It's still 45 degrees outside, which is nice. We're just kind of keeping it in that mid-40s out here, so that's kind of nice. I think we're going to be hopefully in for some mild climate tonight, so hopefully the car won't get too cold. So we still got to figure out what we're going to do about charging tonight once we get to the hotel / dinner / whatever. We might have to make a special trip tonight to charge up the car before the morning, so I'd like to have the car relatively charged up for our trip in the morning. So if not, we have to stop on the way out, and that just takes more time, but we'll see how things go, and then we'll kind of make a determination from there. All right, we're going to keep on trucking. right, made it to these charge point chargers here. This is really nice installation. I guess it's the local Potomac Edison, probably the electricity company. Looks like we did about 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. Hey, 2 hours and 46 minutes of driving, 157 miles, pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and get this plugged in and see how well we do. So kind of an annoying thing, this guy over here in this car has got his car plugged in, but it's not actually charging. So either it's fully charged or he just plugged it in and didn't actually start a charging session. Really weird. Anyway, ours is charging up here. Let me go ahead and take a look at the speeds real quick. Since they are not actually charging, that should mean that we should be able to get our speeds pretty good here. 68.6, that's not good at all. These are supposed to be 125 kilowatt together, but we're not getting that. 70. Oh, let's hope this gets a little bit better. All right, so just throwing in our next place here. So it says we're going to be there in 44 minutes. Look at that, that's not so bad. All right, so 44 minutes, about 33 miles. Please ignore the really loud, obnoxious navigation lady. We are currently at 47% state of charge. I don't know if you could see that. Weirdly enough, I was looking at this guy over here, this car next to us. Let's take a look at this real quick. So this guy next to us, plugged in, not charging. It says 4 hours. 4 hours of him plugged in and not charging his BMW. But we're at 48%, 72 kilowatts. Doing pretty well here. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's splitting the juice because he's plugged in. Like, I'm really just thinking about unplugging his car. But I know that's not really the right thing to do. If somebody was waiting, like looking to charge, I would be like, hey, listen, let's just unplug their car. And like, I would, you know, absolutely do that. But unfortunately, I'm not going to do that right now. And thankfully, when we pulled in, they were plugged in. And there was a car over here plugged into this level 2 station. So they got a little charge point level 2 over here with 2 charging connectors on it. So that's really nice. It's a nice little state park. You can't see anything because it's pitch black outside right now. But yeah, kind of a nice little stop because it's right off the main highway, or what is considered to be the local highway here, Route 15, and that's just going south, or we're going southbound. So kind of a nice little place to have this, honestly. And I'm kind of glad it's here because the Walmart down the street actually has 4 EA stations, or you know, but the problem is 2 of them are down. And I was just looking and it says it's full because it's just an EA station. Like, everybody knows EA, everybody knows where to get them. They're in the navigations, but not many people know how to use other applications like, you know, ChargePoint's website, or ChargePoint's app, or the PlugShare app, which is what I used to discover this one. So we got to get onto the road here, cruise down 15, only another 45 minutes, not too bad. I mean, at this point, I assume we probably have enough to get there. So let's take a look. And yeah, so 33 miles. It says we're going to get there with 36%, which is perfectly fine. I don't know if we really want to stop again tonight to charge, or if we're just going to do a cold charge in the morning and stretch our legs, you know, before we get on the road, because tomorrow we're going to have a little bit longer of a trip. But it is about almost 6:30, so 33 miles, 44 minutes on the road. That means we'll be, you know, about 7:15 if we leave in the next 5 minutes or so. So really not too bad. Not too bad at all. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just sit here for a little longer while we're pulling pretty maximum speeds, because we're getting over 70 kilowatts, which is pretty good. And as long as we're doing over 70 kilowatts, I don't really see there being an issue with staying a little bit longer. I mean, that's as much as the charger's going to put out for myself. Maybe they didn't connect the 2 of these units together. Maybe that's why I'm not getting the full amount. Maybe it's because he's plugged in. I'm not sure how the charge point units work, if it splits it down the middle if 2 units are being used, or if it waits for there to be a, you know, like I would get the full thing until he started ramping up, then he would get part of it. Like, I'm not sure how they split the charge point units, but either way, him being plugged in for 4 hours and not charging is absolutely, I'm trying to be PG rated here, but stupid. But anyway, we'll get going on the road here in just a little bit. But thank you, ChargePoint, and thank you, Potomac Edison First Energy Company, for putting these here, because it was very convenient for us. All right, well, we started tapering down to about 60, what is that, like 63 kilowatts, 62 kilowatts now, at about 68%. So we are going to go ahead and unplug and get going on the road. At first, I really want to just check a look at this level 2 station. So it is 31 cents a kilowatt hour over there for DC fast charging, which is crazy. And so I'm just curious to see what it here is on a level 2. 21 cents. Wow, that's expensive for a level 2, at least in my opinion, but cheap for a DC fast charger. Really interesting prices. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and get this unplugged so we can go. All right, well, we finally made it there. 45 minutes for this last part of the trip here. 33 miles, 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. A lot of slower roads and whatnot. So trip 1 is today. So 7 hours and 24 minutes of driving today. Holy moly. 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Pretty decent speed there. 316 miles is what we did today. This is what we used for everything. So a little bit of climate, mostly driving, and then some accessories and exterior temperature. But overall, really not a bad day. But we're going to go get some lunch, or excuse me, dinner. Oh my God, what time is it? 7:30. We're going to get some dinner, and then we'll kind of tidy up this video, and then you'll join us again tomorrow. All right, good morning, everybody. Well, it is New Year's Eve, so happy New Year's, everybody, because by the time you see this, it'll be well past New Year's. So we are leaving now, Leesburg, Virginia. We have a little bit of a trip today, so we are going to get on the road right now. It's about 8:45, so hopefully we could be back in Myrtle Beach. It says around, what does it say? 9.5 hours, so it's showing us, yeah, so it's going to be, you know, 4:30, 5 o'clock basically by the time we get back. But anyway, we're gonna get on the road. We're actually gonna cut this down quite a bit because it's actually showing that we have 1 hour and 45 minutes of charging, which is gonna be completely unnecessary. We only have like 400 miles. What was the whole trip? It says 462 miles, which I think is a bit high. I'll have to figure that out in a little bit. But anyway, so I went ahead and put in a first charger manually because that's the one that I want to stop at. It's a 10 stall Electrify America on 95 out of Walmart. It's about 50 miles away. We have what it says is about 119 miles of range, but we're going to be chewing through that pretty quickly because the car is cold. So we're going to get to that first one. We're going to charge up real quick. We're going to then get back on 95 and just start booking it down 95 for the rest of the trip. And it should be a pretty clear day today. So we're gonna go ahead and start that now. Let's go ahead and overview what we're looking at here on the map so you can see it. All right, and ignoring all this on the left because this is completely out of order right now. This is actually the Walmart we're stopping at, which is a charger, but I couldn't put it in as a charger for some reason. It's like it didn't recognize it. So that's gonna be our first stop. We're gonna shoot down here. We're gonna come across 66, and then we're gonna come over to 95 just under DC, and then we're going to shoot down 95 to this Walmart, which has a 10 stall Electrify America station. All 10 are up amazingly, and yeah, it looks like that's going to be our good first stop. It's a little bit off the highway, but you know what, it's in a good position for us to get you know, back on the highway pretty quickly and continue our trip. So I think we should just take that as a sign that things are going to go well today, and then we'll stop probably once more somewhere in the north end of North Carolina, and then probably once more somewhere down here in the south end of North Carolina. My guess right now, I don't really know, but we'll see how it calculates once we hit this first charger. So let's get the car warmed up, get over to the charger. Hopefully it's warm enough to accept a full charge or a fast charge, and then we'll kind of start our day from there. Well, we just got here to the Electrify America. Now, this is a proper installation here. We have 10 charging stations here at this Electrify America in Garrison. Where are we again?
Virginia.
Virginia, yes. So it looks like we had quite a bit of climate use. That was just due to the fact that we were warming up the car from freezing, well, not freezing cold, but cold overnight. It was down probably in the high 30s last night. So we did pretty well. Got on the highway, started ripping it as good as we could, but we're going to go ahead and get this plugged in now. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll see what kind of speeds we start grabbing. Ramping up now, 105, 106, 107. Come on, 110. I guess that's 114. Well, I guess that's about, oh, not bad. Oh, 116. Saw for a second there. All right, we're getting a little bit of a bounce here, but that's okay. We're doing some pretty strong speeds here. We're going to charge up, and then we're going to see what we need to do to move on with the rest of our trip today. All right, just a quick update here. Been here about 13 minutes already. We're already down to like 76 kilowatts here at 55%. This is the worst part of this car, is the charging curve is just bloop. It's pretty awful. Anyway, we are going to give this a few more minutes here, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the navigation and see what we need to do to make the next part of this trip pretty seamless. So let's jump in the car and take a look. All right, so looking like we got about 400 miles left in our trip here, so not too bad. A little over 7 hours to go here. So it is now, I had to recalculate everything because once again it gets screwed up if you have a charger in there from like, and then you change your waypoints. It's really annoying, but you just gotta have to like redo everything. So now it wants us to stop 2 more times. So it wants us to stop in this Electrify America. What is this? Is this Emporia? What is this? This is the other problem I don't like, is it doesn't tell you like where it is. Like I need to like go in on the map. This looks like Richmond. Is this Richmond?
I hope we don't have to stop in Richmond.
Yeah, so this is the one just outside of Richmond, which is not a bad one actually.
No,
that one's okay. But I did want to go around the Beltway here. So Let's see if we have any other options here. Let's replace. So yeah, so we're just taking a look at some of our options here right outside of Richmond. So we have that one, and I think there's an EV Go somewhere here as well. Yeah, that one says that is that offline, I guess? I'm not really sure what that is. Yeah, so not really sure what to do there. I'd like to get around Richmond. And I think we can. Like, what's number 7 here? 7 is Emporia. Like, we could probably get to Emporia. And then if we get to Emporia, that only leaves us with, like, one more quick stop, probably at, like, the outlets, yeah. Or that, that other new one they just put in at the, whatchamacallit, the gas station there. I can't remember the name of it, the Circle K. So, yeah, I'm thinking we can make it to Emporia. I think that's going to be probably our best bet here. Let's see what that mileage is. Because personally, I don't want to have to stop anywhere near Richmond.
Yeah, it's going to be busy.
Yeah, it could potentially
Please
be busy.
drive to highlighted route.
I'm getting this a lot all of a sudden now. It says, oh, this unpaved roads. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, so it's still putting in a charger in between. And this is the biggest problem with this whole entire system is it doesn't let you just delete a charger. Like if I want to get rid of this charger, it won't let me just get rid of it. All right, so we went ahead and we put in our next place. Unfortunately, it keeps adding in an additional charger, which is what I don't want. I want to see what it's going to tell me, how I'm going to get there with, you know, just going straight there and not necessarily stopping in this one. So I think I know, actually, you know what? I think I know how to do that. Let me take a look at this one more time here. All right, so Electrify America, Emporia, Virginia. 122 miles is what it says, though it's going to be more than that. We're going to take off that. Okay, so it says 2% is what we're going to arrive with. All right, so, and that's with the Beltway going around Richmond,
2%.
Which is what we want. Yep, that's fine, because we're only at 70% right now charging. So if we go up to like 80-85%, that will give us plenty of buffer. How would you like to add chargers? No, I do not need a charger for this trip. Okay, so there we go. I think we finally got this. So we just got to make sure we turn off that whole charger thingy. So the temperature's getting nice out. It's 49 degrees. The sun is coming out, so it's going to start warming up the car a little bit easier than us having to use all our HVAC. We are going to be doing, you know, pretty decent speeds, but nothing this car can't handle. Once again, I calculated, let's actually turn you around. So I actually calculated that this car will do 200 miles, actually more than 200 miles from 100% to 0% at 70 miles an hour. You know, even at 85%, I'm still thinking we could do close to 200 miles. This is 139 miles away. The weather is actually going to be nicer, so I'm not really too concerned about that. So I think we're going to probably just hang out here till about 80-85%. Right now it says we got about 5% state of charge. And so, yeah, we're cool. Now, if you're wondering why we didn't go further south for this first stop, the next charger is Fredericksburg. Now, if you've watched the original Going North episode where we went up to Jersey, we stopped in Fredericksburg. And we've done that in the past, and that was a huge mistake this time around. I mean, December 23rd, Saturday, one of the busiest travel days of the year, and we stopped in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and it's just awful. Number one, it's at a mall, which is right before Christmas. That was a stupid idea. And then after we got there and we like waited in line for like 10-15 minutes, all of a sudden, we got a Lucid pulling in next to us. All of a sudden, I'm realizing that this stop where we're at right now was literally just up the road like 20 miles, and we could have made it. It would have been a bit of a stretch, but we could have made it. And there's 10 chargers here. Yeah. So I don't know why anybody would stop in Fredericksburg on a road trip. I mean, it just makes no sense.
We wouldn't do that again.
No, I know now if we're ever going to do CCS, don't stop in Fredericksburg ever. This station is 10 stalls, and they're all good. And I mean, that works a hell of a lot better than trying to do that Fredericksburg. Oh my God, it was almost 30 minutes from when we got off the highway just to get to the charger.
We ate lunch.
And we ate lunch, and we were still waiting for the
Yeah.
car to charge. Like, anyway.
It was crazy.
Anyway, so yeah, we're at 74% right now, so we are just kind of chilling here, waiting. We're going to just sit for a little bit longer here. Now it says we got a 7% arrival. So I think if we wait till 85%, that'll give us about a 18% arrival. And then we're going to obviously eat into that buffer a little bit as we go. So I think at that point, we're going to have, a little bit left in the tank to get there. So yeah, and then hopefully Emporia is not super busy. I know there's only 4 stalls there, but all 4 of them do work. As of a week ago, they all work. So hopefully that's the case as well. And I'm going to check that again on my phone. Yeah, I'll check on my phone just to make sure.
Make sure it's up. If we need a bailout, we can bail out.
But yeah, that's the other problem too, is Emporia has no like bailout options in Emporia. So if we get there, we're just there.
We'll have to wait.
We have to wait if there's a
wait.
wait on the charger. But so far, I mean, this place has been dead. Like, there was a EV6 here a minute ago. So there was an EV6 here a minute ago. They just left like 5 minutes ago. That Mach-E's been here since before we got here. A Lucid just pulled in next to me. He plugged into the 150 cabinet, which is weird. He should be over on one of the 350s. I think there's a couple 350s here. But I mean, yeah, overall, I mean, this has been going pretty simple, pretty well.
Traffic hasn't been too
Traffic's
bad.
been pretty good so far, and we're going south now. We're going away from all the big cities.
Yeah.
Like, we just got to get around Richmond, and then we're good. So
We should be fine though.
I think so.
So
I think so. All right, cool. Well, I guess we'll see you all on the road. All right, really stupid thing I just figured out. So you can actually, if you can't find chargers in the list, there's this button here. So this says here, touch the searching near button to change the area you are searching. Well, this doesn't really label this very well for that, but if you click on that, my current location, my destination, my active route. I've been looking for this. This is so annoying. I can't believe I just finally found it. Oh, that's annoying. All right, so I think let's try this real quick while we're sitting here charging up. Let's do this. Let's go ahead. We're going to do Myrtle Beach. We're going to hit go, and then we're going to do, let's see what chargers it adds.
Please drive to highlighted route.
All right, so it is, oh, look at that. I think it's actually added it properly now. Yep, I think that's actually the proper, is that Emporia? Yeah, okay, so cool. Well, I guess I didn't need to, fix it this time. It was fine. So, yeah, so, okay, so 139 miles to Emporia. Let's see if it's going around 295 like I prefer. Yes, it appears to be doing so right there. All right, cool. So right now it's saying that if we were to leave now, we would end up in Emporia with a 15% state of charge. So that is good. So I'm glad that I found that extra button there. I never knew that thing existed. That's really annoying. So if you do this, go to search, let's say chargers, and let's say I want to do fast charging, and then I say I want to do search near my active route, and now this tells you all the chargers that are on your active route, not all the chargers that are just around you. I have been waiting for this. I've been trying to figure this out for like, I didn't know what that button was this whole time.
Oh, you finally figured it out.
Connection not available. Oh, look at that. It's already failing on me. Yeah, so look at that. So on the route. Oh, yeah, look at that. On the route.
Oh, why didn't we find this sooner?
Oh, that would have made things so much easier. All right, so that's where we're at. That's where we're going. That is the outlets. But why is there nothing else? There's got to be more chargers, unless they're not on here. Oh, well, here we go. Oh, so you got to turn it down a little bit. Oh, so this is 100 kilowatts plus. Oh, so yeah, like any like charge points that are like 62.5 are not going to be on here. But like, yeah, like that makes things so much easier. So now I can see the chargers on the route as opposed to just what's around that area, which is stupid because, it's stupid to see a charger that's like 20 miles off the route. Yeah, cool. All right.
You found.
I feel a little stupid having this car for 2 years and then not actually knowing that feature existed, but
Now you know.
now I know. And now everybody watching knows. All right, not sure if you could see it, but we are at 83% and we're down to like 30 kilowatts going into the battery right now. This car's awful after 80%. It used to be a lot worse. It used to be like once you hit 80, you got like 12 kilowatts. But at least now it's a little bit better. So we are up to about 83%. I'm just gonna wait to 85. I want to give myself just a little bit more buffer, and then we can head on out. Right now it's showing that we're gonna get there with about 18%. I think if we have a 20% buffer, we will burn into it. I am not even like joking. We will burn into that buffer pretty hard. And then I think we will see how we do when we get to Emporia. Hopefully it won't be super busy there. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look on the Electrify America app right now, see what the chargers look like, and then we'll be on the road in no time. So just got onto 95. So the car is projecting it's 138 miles to the next charger in Emporia, Virginia. It says we have 153 miles of range. So the range figure came down a lot since we left. So it says now we're going to get there with 8%. It was 7 a moment ago. So yeah, and this is why I built the buffer, because I knew there was going to be that huge decrease in range once we got to a certain point. Yeah, well, yeah, but just in general, like once it recalculates everything, I knew there was going to be a big drop. So I was very much anticipating that to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on that 15-mile buffer. And once again, I think we're going to be okay just because, well, I mean, the weather is nice, so the cabin's not going to be needing a lot of heat. And
if you drive a little lower speeds.
Yeah, and
we'll
slow down if we need to as we go, but you know, we might also hit traffic in later on, so we might have to slow down anyway. But either way, we have a little bit of a buffer, so we're going to get to the charger with a little bit low state of charge, which is fine. And then hopefully when we get there, we'll have lunch because it'll be lunchtime.
Yeah.
And then we'll plug the car in and just charge up.
Sounds good.
And then we'll have one more stop for the day.
2 thumbs up?
Sure, why not? I could do this because I'm in hands-free. Just to kind of show everybody where we're currently at, we found a nice car to pace behind for the last, I don't know, 30 or 40 miles. We're doing a little bit under the speed limit. We're doing about 65 in a 70, but we've able to make up a lot of that buffer. So as we can see here, we have 91 miles to the charger, 113. So we got a little over 20 miles of buffer now, which is nice to see. Just to kind of show you how well this works, we have 3.7 miles per kilowatt hours now our efficiency, which is amazing. And yeah, 48.6 miles is what we've been doing so far. And as you can see, our climate usage has been pretty minimal considering that the sun is out. It's now about 49 degrees outside, which is cool. And yeah, so we're just gonna pace with them for as long as we can, because we might be splitting off from them depending on if they take 95 through Richmond or 295 around Richmond. It really all depends on what we decide to do, but at least we got a little bit of buffer now that we can burn off as we go around Richmond. So yeah, this is actually working out pretty well, even though it's taking us a little longer to get there. It's actually kind of a nice ride. And the hands-free Blues Cruise, I'm going to keep calling it Blues Cruise. The hands-free Blue Cruise is actually doing fantastic as well, keeping us in the lane. I don't even have my hands on the wheel for most of this trip. The eye tracking works very well. If I take my eyes off the road for a few seconds, it yells at me. It says, look back at the road. So overall, I got to say it's pretty good. Really looking forward to the new versions of Blue Cruise that are supposed to be coming out. And we'll have it for a whole nother year before we have to start paying for it, if we decide to start paying for it. Because honestly, I don't know how much more we're going to be road tripping this car. unless the NACS thing does come true, hopefully early next year. Maybe we will road trip this car more. Who knows? But anyway, that's about the update we have for now. So we're just going to keep on cruising, and we'll see you around the Charger. Just about 30 miles from our Charger in Emporia, Virginia. As you can see, we got about a 30-mile buffer now. So we're at 34%, 31 miles. So we got plenty to burn. So we sped up a little bit. As you can see, our efficiency is looking pretty good. 107 miles already done on this leg, 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So we started burning some efficiency for speed. And as you can see, the climate usage is pretty minimal just due to the weather starting to warm up, 51 degrees outside. Looks really good. Roads look clear, so be in Emporia in about a half hour. Cruising. We're about 8 miles from the Charger. In the past 10 minutes, we have passed a Hyundai Ioniq 5 and a Lucid Air. They might be going to the same Charger as us, so we may have beaten them to the Charger. I see a Model Y up here, but they're obviously not going to the Emporia Charger. They'll be going to a supercharger. But we just passed 2 CCS vehicles on 95 here, so we're going to try to get there before them. We'll see if they show up after us, because that's going to be kind of interesting. But we just checked the app for Electrify America, and you said there was what, two available? Two available. So hopefully it stays 2 available in the next less than 10 minutes. Basically, we'll be at the Charger. So we're just cruising right now, 95. Got the exit in a few miles here, and yeah, we'll see what if they show up after we do. So it's interesting. Emporia was the Charger. It's a race. A race. If you remember the way going up, when we stopped in Emporia, we had a little bit of a wait, about a 5-minute wait in Emporia. So that we had a couple of cars that were waiting on that day. So we'll see if today's any better. But once again, Electrify America, 4 stations, all 4 work except the screen was out on the one that we were using. But we had plug and charge, so no big deal there. But yeah, so we're going to be heading over to that CCS Charger here in just about 5-6 minutes here, and we'll see what the results are. Right, ended up averaging over 137 miles, a little over 2 hours, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Did really good, 16% state of charge. So we got 100 miles to our next Charger. We got the same station as last time with the broken screen. So let's plug in and see what we get. Well, we know what we're going to get. It's pretty crap speeds, but that's all right. All right, so we're at the Charger charging up. We're at 58%. The car says we want 60% before we head off to the next leg of the trip here. We only got to go about 100 miles, so 60% should be plenty. I don't see any problem with that. This Charger's been outputting cars pretty quickly. I mean, the Lucid Air came next to us. So the one that we passed on 95 actually did show up here. Yep. Older couple, very nice people, said this is the first time they're road tripping the car. I was like, oh, congratulations, you know. They got their 350 kilowatt station, which was good for them. And yeah, so then another 2 cars just left. A Rivian R1T pulled in. They're on the 350, and there's a spot open now. Yeah. So flowing pretty quickly. Yeah, throughput is working pretty well here. I love those Rivians. Oh, I really want to get one
The
of those.
Rivian's nice. I would go
do.
for a Rivian.
I do want one of those. But so anyway, other funny story here is that we plugged into the exact same charger that we plugged in over a week ago.
Yes.
The one with the dead screen. It's the Chatamo / CCS one, and it's got a completely dead screen. And so last week when we were on our way up, you know, I have these little cameras that I put on my GoPro. So, you know, they just light up, you know, give you some light. They just attach to the shoe mount on the GoPro. And I couldn't find the little filter,
nubby.
the little, what do they call it? Diffuser, whatever it is. I couldn't find it. I was like, I don't know where it went. I'm like, it must have fell off in the car or something like that. I'm walking up to the charger, and right next to the charger is, no joke, the little the diffuser cover for my GoPro. I found it.
The odds of that.
I mean, it's just so funny that we just so happened to get the same charger, and sure enough, there is my little diffuser cover for my GoPro now. So now I have it back again. It's a little dirty. It looks like it got a little bit dirty in the process, but I'll clean it up. It'll work. It'll do the trick. But I mean, just that is hilarious. I mean, what are the chances of that happening? Anyway, we're at 62%. We only got to go 100 miles. I think that's more than good enough. It says it's 62 degrees outside. I can't think it's
nice.
62. It's probably a little less than that, but it's nice out. Weather's beautiful. We're going back south, of course. So you keep drinking my sweet tea.
I know. I'm addicted. It's good stuff.
It is, yes. So yeah, we're just gonna unplug and go. I don't see why we need to stay here any longer.
You don't think so?
63%.
You think we're good?
We're good. I mean, we're not gonna pull much speed. I can't really see the speeds because the screen is down.
Screen.
But I can check on my phone, but it's not really real time. It only gives you, like, you know, whatever happened a minute ago. But yeah, 100 miles, hour and a half.
Here we go.
Carolina Premium Outlets should be
My
no
favorite
problem.
outlet.
Somebody else is pulling in now or backing in. Nobody else is waiting. We're gonna leave now, have another station open. Throughput's good here. But yeah, all right, well, let's get back on the road. Yep, so we just left the Emporia, Virginia Electrify America station, and the thing that was weird is the car said charge up to 60% and then go. Now I don't know if it had changed the route without telling me, because the second we started driving away, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you want to stop at this station at 60 miles away. And I was like, wait a minute, what happened to one that was like a little over 100 miles away? And so it just like recalculated without really telling me that. And so that was kind of annoying. So I put in the outlets, the Carolina Premium Outlets, which is 93 miles away according to this. And it says we're gonna get there with about 5% state of charge. So that's fine. We're just gonna keep it at the speed limit, I guess, for the next part of this trip. I mean, had I known that we were going to need a little bit more, I would have stayed for an extra like 2 or 3 minutes, and we would have had plenty of buffer. But unfortunately, you know, I was going by what the navigation said. Charge to 60%, then go. We charged to 64%, and it's still saying that technically we're not going to make it to the outlets. You know, whatever. So we're just gonna cruise at the 70 miles an hour. I don't feel like getting off in Rocky Mount because that charger is a little bit difficult. It takes a little bit to get to it from 95. So we'll just kind of cruise along. We'll do the speed limit. We'll just see what kind of buffer we can build over the course of the next, you know, 50, 60 miles. And then when we get closer, we'll just we'll burn the buffer up a little bit. But until then, beautiful weather, 50 degrees outside. Traffic is light.
Lovely.
And yeah, things are good. So if everything goes as planned, that will be the last charger for today. We'll have to charge up a little bit at the outlets because we have like 100 and you remember remember what the mileage is? 140 miles?
No, I don't remember.
140 to like 160. I can't, it's somewhere in that range of how much from there to home. And that's so we could skip the Lumberton charger, which is like dead center between us and those chargers. I think it's like 150, 160, but so we'll have to charge up to probably about 80, 85%, but now that the weather is nice and warm and stuff, we really shouldn't have any issues with efficiency or range. So, which is why I'm not really too concerned about this, because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's only going to get possibly warmer outside, which is going to help us with our HVAC efficiency. And yeah, that's that. So I'm going to keep on cruising. All right, just got to here, 97 miles here. I guess I cleared out the stuff. I turned the car off. So I'm parked at the dead charger right now. So the one on our right is taken. The one on our left is taken, but I think they are moving. So I'm actually just going to stretch that cable over to this car, which should fit. And we'll go ahead and get charged up. Actually, let's look at our state of charge real quick. I forgot to look. I think we were like 12 or 13. So we were 13% state of charge. Let's get plugged in. All right, I was able to snag this charger over here because this one over here says charger unavailable, unfortunately. So let's take a look at over here real quick. There we go. Finally starting to charge up. 13%. 33, 40, 47. Let me see a $1.20 here. Wow, really? I guess it's going to start ramping up in a little bit. I figured this low in the pack, we would be getting some pretty good speeds, but honestly, this is pretty pathetic. 105, 106 kilowatts at 14%. It looks like now we're starting to ramp up. Okay, yep. I'm starting to hear some cable cooling going there. Maybe it was restricting itself because the cable cooling wasn't running yet. 112, 113. Yep, and that's about where it sits. About 114, 115 is about where it maxes out on chargers for some reason. This car really needs some extra tuning there. I know the big batteries charge a lot better, but this should be pretty good as well. I mean, that's pretty bad. 115. Oh well. Gonna get charged up. Let's take a look at what we need for the next run. All right, so it looks like we need about 100 and wow, it's a little bit more than I thought it was. So which way do I normally go? What's this? That's coming all the way down the coast of North Carolina. I don't need that. Let's see. Oh, this is just two different chargers. We're not going to charge. We don't need to charge from here in Smithfield. We can actually make it perfectly fine. I think, oh, there it is. Nope. That's the route we usually take because it comes off of 95 and takes 74, right? Yep, 74. That's the route we want right there. That's what we need. So that's what we want to see. We do not want to add chargers because we can make it perfectly fine. What do we need? Survey says 0%. This is the problem. What do I need? I need 167 miles. That's all I know. So I think we're going to be here till probably about 80%, 85% at least. Because a lot of this a lot of this roads after we get off of 95 and then get off of 74, a lot of this is all slow. So your efficiency is amazing when you get off of that 74 and you start coming down here. So I'm not really worried about it. It's beautiful outside, 55 degrees. The sun is out. We're going to get home probably just about the time it's going to get dark. So our efficiencies are going to be great. So yeah, I'm not really all that concerned, but we're just going to let this go and we're going to go for a walk. We'll let it tell us what it needs eventually. Right now it's at 0%, but I guess it'll figure it out eventually. So we're going to go for a walk. Let's go ahead and do one last check at the charger and see what we're looking at here, because I am curious at our speeds. Oh my God, already down to 81. Why is this charging so poorly? Oh well, that's what I get for buying the small battery, I guess. All right, charger's cleared out pretty good. I'm the only one here now. Looks like we're at 84%, 33 kilowatts. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the car all warmed up inside, and then we are going to see what it says as far as our percentage of arrival for when we get home, and we'll kind of go from there. Alrighty, well, looks like we got our route pathed pretty well here. So it's showing about 158 miles to our house, which is what we need. I thought that number before was a little bit high. I think it was putting it down further into the Myrtle Beach area. But anyway, 2 hours and 40 minutes. What it says we're going to get there with about 12% battery, and we are at 87% right now, which is just a little bit overkill. But it's good to have a little bit of buffer. 13% arrival now. I think we're down to like 30 kilowatts. Let's see if we can zoom in enough to see it. Looks like somewhere around there. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get unplugged here, and we're going to get going. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. This place is crazy right now. The Smithfield Premium Outlets is just absolutely hopping right now. So yep, down to 33 kilowatts here. Chargers are now completely dead. I'm surprised. We got here, it was packed. So 33 kilowatts, we are at 88% state of charge. I don't know why the charging time says 5 minutes. Huh, that's interesting. I'm not sure why it says that. Because it says we started at... Did it start the session over? But it says 52 kilowatt hours delivered. Huh. Weird. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and stop this charge. And let's get back on the road. Weird that these are 56 kilowatts, 56 cents per kilowatt hour here. Usually it's a little bit cheaper than that with Electrify America. Usually it's like 48, but for some reason these are more expensive. All right, let's unplug and get going. Just getting back onto 95 South here, so we got our trip. Right now it's projecting we have 156 miles to home, but only 153 miles of range of battery. So this could be pretty interesting. We're gonna have to play the game of trying to make up some of the difference there, and then we'll be able to get home perfectly fine. Of course, I don't have to worry about charging when we get home because we have a charger at home. And yeah, so we're gonna have to play the makeup game here and see what we can do. well, we are on one of the final highways of our trip. We're about an hour and 20 minutes from home, about 71 miles. We started off this leg of the trip with like a 2-mile buffer, and we got it up to about 20 now. So we have a 20-mile buffer, so we're just kind of going as fast as we feel comfortable on this road right now, just trying to burn off some of that buffer, so we'll be home with a pretty low percentage, but that's what it's there for. So the trip's been good. Road's been pretty smooth. Charging today has been pretty good. A little bit busy, but nothing that really caused us to wait. So overall, it's been pretty good. Let's see. What any thoughts from you? How about you?
I thought traffic was going to be worse. Traffic has been pretty good. It's been flowing.
Very nice today, actually. I thought it was being worse too.
Temperature's been good. It's been 55 and comfortable, and everything's been good so far. Knock on wood.
Yes, it's nice to be back down in the south where it's 55 degrees at 5 o'clock at night and not 40 degrees at night.
Yes.
Anyway.
Or 30.
Or 30s, yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so we're going to keep going. Like I said, a little over an hour left, but we'll see you probably at the house. All right, made it home. 29 miles of range left, 16%, so plenty of buffer. 155 miles for that last leg there, 2 hours, 40 minutes. We got home exactly 6 o'clock. 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour there is where all of our stuff went. So, yep, really impressed with this. Mach-E works really well on road trips, and the efficiency is pretty great. Just like all of our other road trips that we've had. Just realized I forgot to show us our trip stuff. So this was our trip coming back. So 15 hours, 40 minutes roughly, 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour for those 758 miles. Once again, keeping in mind that we left New Jersey, went north into Pennsylvania, then back down south, which is why this is a little bit longer. And the entire trip altogether, 1,637 miles from the time we left our door to the time we got back to our door. So 37 hours of driving and 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour on average. Pretty good. 9% climate use. So because it was cold outside, we used a little bit of climate. And here's everything else right there. But overall, I got to say, yeah, over 3 miles per kilowatt hour for this vehicle is pretty good. All right, well, there we go. So we are home after 1,600 plus miles of from here to Jersey, driving around there, and then Jersey to Pennsylvania to back here again. So lots of driving around in the Mach-E. I'm so happy that we took the Mach-E on another road trip.
Yeah.
Because it just proved to me how terrible the CCS infrastructure is.
That's all you have to say about it.
Oh, I mean, it's the truth though, because
the Mach-E was so comfortable.
The Mach-E is a fantastic car, but like everybody says, the cars are perfect. It's the charging infrastructure that lets it all down, and we've seen it. And 2 years ago, we road tripped the Ioniq.
Yes.
Now we had to stop almost 10 times on the way up and like 9 times on the way back. Not a single time did we have an issue with getting to a charger and it was populated.
True.
So much has changed in 2 years.
Yes.
With the development of EVs and people purchasing them and road tripping them and using them and not being so knowledgeable about them. And so like we've seen so much change in 2 years time. And then on the second thing, we proved that during the potentially worst travel day of the year,
Yep.
Saturday before Christmas, that we were able to successfully road trip with minor problems.
True.
From here in Myrtle Beach all the way up to New Jersey, over the course of 2 days, of course. But in the CCS vehicle, did we have to wait at some chargers? Yes. Were there some chargers down? Yes. So, I mean, that was kind of what we came across. But honestly, I still say that we were extremely lucky.
Yes, we were. It could have been a whole lot worse.
I think if we left an hour later that day, we would have been a lot worse off.
Yeah,
than what we ran into.
Well, good thing we couldn't sleep, and good thing we got up early and hit the road when we did.
Exactly. That's it. So, yeah. So I think the Mach-E, once again, fantastic car, so comfortable to drive. Hands-free Blue Cruise is really good. Looking forward to the update. Charging infrastructure, I think it was okay. So here's my favorite part about the charging infrastructure. No, really, my favorite part was the fact that we didn't have to rely on Electrify America for all of it.
True.
Because they really dropped the ball on a lot of their places. Like a lot of places they had 4 chargers, either 1 or 2 of them were down.
Yeah.
You know, we saw that one today. It was fantastic. 10 chargers in the parking lot.
All of them worked.
All of them were up and running.
Yep.
And that was like really nice. And there was hardly anybody there today, but today was not a very busy travel day. But like that was how they all should be. Yeah. At least 10, 8 to 10 at least.
Up and running.
Yeah, but at least if you have a failure with 8 to 10, it's not as detrimental as when you have 4. Which is never enough.
No.
As it is. It's never enough as it is.
Because there's people waiting.
Yeah, because even today, when we got to Emporia, there was 4 working chargers, except for the one that we got twice. And it was, the screen doesn't work, but it still works functioning, you know, for charging. But that one was keeping throughput, barely keeping throughput. So, but yeah, so, I mean, I think I'm looking forward to this car next year when it has access to the supercharger network. Rumor has it that that's going to happen. Okay. And yeah, when that does happen, then we're going to have to do some tests, and maybe we road trip it one more time. But this time we use the Tesla supercharging network instead of...
I think we could do that.
We're going to do it.
All right.
Anyway, that's about all I have. Anything you want to add to that?
It was just a really great trip, nice seeing family and spending time with friends.
Yes, it was. And yes, and if you're watching this, we went over the Christmas break, so, you know, happy holidays. It is New Year's Eve right now, so we're ending this video on New Year's Eve. It's, you know, 6 hours from the new year. So, you know, Happy New Year if you're seeing this shortly after I release it. But yeah, so it was... it was a busy year.
We couldn't have asked for a better vacation.
No, it was nice. It was nice. All right, cool. Well, let's wrap this video up. Thank you very much if you made it to the end of this video, number 1. And if you've watched this channel, if you've watched these videos, if you've followed us for all these years or all this year or whatever, thank you very much. And, you know, we appreciate the support and the help that every single viewer on the channel gets, every single person that hits the thumbs up, the like button, the subscriptions are a big help as well. Like, we really do appreciate all of that, if you can do that. And so if you haven't done any of that stuff already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and please take a look back at some of our old videos, our old road tripping videos when we first got the Mach-E. We also have the Tesla, which is just sitting right over here. We road trip that all the time as well. So a lot of cool content on this channel, and a lot more to come in 2024. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But anyway, thanks again for watching. I just got a text message. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next road trip video. All right, and we'll talk to you soon. And remember, welcome to the future.
And welcome to Tech Motoring.
Goodbye, 2023. Hello, 2024. Bye, y'all.